This is a new video we're just getting in of Jill Kelley leaving her home in Tampa. She's the woman whose complaints about threatening emails may have brought the wheels of this scandal to light. CNN's Ed Lavandera standing right outside her home, and she's got a closer look at who this woman is. Ed, what are you learning?
Well, Wolf, it's really a confusing picture at this point, but we're doing the best we can to kind of sift through all the various pieces we've been able to put together about Jill Kelley, the woman who has become very much front and center at the scandal surrounding General Petraeus. But we do know that Jill Kelley has lived here in Tampa for a while. She is married to a prominent doctor here in the area. As one Defense Department official described her, in a not so flattering kind of way, that described her as a bored, rich socialite. But she had become heavily involved here with military causes and hosting events. She'd also been volunteering in the last 6 months, we're told, with a group called the National Council for International Visitors. This is a group that works with the State Department and obviously with all the dignitaries and high-level officials that come through the military bases here in the Tampa area. They had hosted events here at their home that you see behind me. But for her part, Jill Kelley isn't saying anything at all, simply that her and her husband had been friends with General Petraeus for the last 5 years, and they're asking people to respect their privacy at this point.
There's an interesting nugget here also, and it seems like both the Generals Allen and Petraeus actually reached out to help a legal case regarding Jill Kelley's twin sister, Natalie. What do you know about this?
Well, you know, this is interesting. I think it points to the types of relationships that Jill Kelley and her husband developed here, not just surface relationships, but obviously very intimate or close bonds with some of these people that they felt good enough to go to these two generals. And it was Jill Kelley's sister, for we understand, going through a custody battle with her ex-husband, and that the two generals wrote letters on Jill Kelley's sister's behalf, describing her as a wonderful mother and trying to renegotiate or reframe some of the custody issues that were going on in that particular situation. But it's interesting that these two generals would essentially go to bat for Jill Kelley's sister in this custody battle.
We're also hearing, Ed, from some members of Jill Kelley's family today. What's going on here?
Well, you know, Jill Kelley, as we mentioned, isn't saying anything. She's hired a prominent D.C. attorney to help her out, as well as a prominent D.C. public relations firm to help her out through all this. But her brother did speak out. Of course, a lot of the things that have been said about her in the last couple of days, unflattering, especially her connections to General John Allen, the commanding officer in Afghanistan, as well. But her brother came out and spoke to a CNN affiliate in Pennsylvania, essentially saying that anything describing her as anything other than a good mother is simply wrong.
If you know my sister the way I do, she is, number one, a mother. She has 3 little kids. She is, number 2, a wife, okay? So after that, everything else is just a side attraction, basically. It's peripheral. So she's very dedicated to her husband and to her kids. So something like this is really pretty much a fluke, you know. So for anybody to paint her other than that is completely wrong. It's just completely wrong.
And Wolf, as we mentioned, we're here outside of Jill Kelley's home, and as amazing as it might seem, she seems to be kind of going on with everything in her life unfazed. We just saw her just moments before we went on the air here, showing up with her children here at her home, and just simply walked inside with all of the cameras looking at her, trying to get some sort of comment from her. Wolf?
Interesting stuff. The prominent D.C. attorney who's representing her, Abby Lowell, is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, Abby Lowell is well known to many of us here. He's represented some high-profile cases over the years. Thank you. The home of the Petraeus mistress, Paula Broadwell, was searched by the FBI for hours. Just ahead in our next hour, we're getting new information about what FBI agents have found.